Darrin, I want to thank you for joining us. There's so much to talk about. I want to go, though, straight to the news this morning. Given the sell-offs in the market and really the expectations of the Fed for the next 12 months, if not longer, what are you seeing as the CEO of one of the largest banks in your region?
Well, we see a community or a business community that's really still a little concerned. If we can reopen the economy, given this pandemic, if consumers have confidence, then we think our borrowers, our customers will be fine. We provided various forms of payment relief during this uncertain times. So we're optimistic, cautiously optimistic. But if we can regain consumer confidence, if the communities, the markets we serve can open back up safely, then I think we'll be in good shape.
You heard what Jay Powell had to say yesterday in terms of their expectations for what employment looks like in this country over the next 12 months. What's your expectation for employment in your region?
Well, understand we serve the Arkansas-Mississippi Delta, and this is one of the most consistently poor communities of all the United States. And so when other markets were flourishing, we're thriving much better than we are. So we've always had a low unemployment, and so we're obviously concerned about that. That's an issue for us. So we're going to continue to monitor that and continue to watch that. But we want to do all we can to support the small businesses that provide the jobs in the markets that we serve.
Well, let me ask you about that specifically. We just had Ron Johnson on this last segment, and Joe asked him about whether we need more stimulus money, whether we need to get more money to small businesses. What's your view on that?
Yeah, I think so. So, the Paycheck Protection Program was a big help for the markets that we serve. Many of our business owners said it was a lifeline. It allowed them to keep their employees working. We provided over almost 1,100 and 1,250 paycheck protection loans for over $111 million, and that was very much needed. But the Paycheck Protection Program was very limited in how those dollars could be spent. Most of that had to be spent on payroll. There are other things that businesses need to support themselves to allow them to survive this pandemic. So there may be a need for additional support for small businesses that are really the backbone of this economy, that really who are creating jobs. Until consumer confidence comes back, until we feel safe about going back into the market, going back into restaurants, going back into stores, these businesses probably will need additional support.
There are some economists that are worried about what happens to employment come the end of this month, given that some of these loans and the provisions around employment. You were just discussing how you think these loans are being used. Do you think there are people that are being kept on the payroll that may not be on the payroll come July? It's
quite possible. Again, if consumer confidence doesn't come back and people don't return to the stores, to buying, to purchasing, many of these businesses may not need as many of the people as they have now. And so, sure, we're concerned about that. The Paycheck Protection Program really required initially it's 75%. Now that's been reduced to about 60%. Those dollars had to be spent on keeping people on the payroll. That was a primary driver for that money. And so there are people who may be on the payroll where businesses may not need them right now. So that is a concern.
What's loan growth look like for you guys right now?
Well, I must say loan growth it's not nearly as high as we would have expected. But, prior to the pandemic, we are seeing loan growth. We have a pretty diverse loan portfolio. We operate in some pretty rural markets. So we serve folks in the agriculture industry. So our farmers are still planting. And so we have some loan growth. But the vast majority of our loan growth, unfortunately, has been from the Paycheck Protection Program. So loan growth, while it's slowed, it's not completely diminished. But we would love to see it increase even more.